Have you ever noticed that year after year your car feels weaker, slower, almost like it lost part of its original power, even though the engine never actually blew up or failed? Here's the truth most drivers never hear. In the majority of cases, the engine isn't worn out. It's confused. Modern engines are run almost entirely by electronic sensors. Tiny components, often smaller than your thumb, decide how much air the engine breathes, how much fuel it injects, when it fires the spark, and how stable the idle will be. When those sensors get dirty, the engine literally forgets how it used to run when it rolled out of the dealership. Today, I'm going to show you sensors you can clean yourself at home that can restore throttle response, smoothness, and fuel economy to high-mileage engines, without spending a single dollar on new parts. And stay until the end, because one sensor on this list is ignored even by many repair shops, yet it can make a massive difference in performance. If you want to save money on maintenance and make your car run better for longer, subscribe to AutoJ World and turn on notifications, because here we break down cars with data, not myths. Sensor number 5, the camshaft position sensor, commonly known as the CMP sensor. If your car randomly loses power, hesitates when accelerating, feels rough at low RPM, or throws a check engine light related to VVT or timing codes, most people immediately blame ignition coils, fuel injectors, or even the timing chain. But one of the most overlooked culprits sits right on top of the engine, the camshaft position sensor. Think of it as the engine's clock. It tells the ECU exactly when the valves are opening and closing, keeping air, fuel, and ignition perfectly synchronized. Over time, oil vapors and sludge build up on the sensor's magnetic tip. That contamination causes tiny delays in the signal, which leads to timing variations even when everything else is mechanically fine. The result is uneven acceleration, higher fuel consumption, and that vague, indecisive engine feel. Many drivers assume this is just normal aging, but in reality it's often just dirt. Cleaning it properly is straightforward. Locate the sensor, usually near the valve cover. Unplug the connector, remove the retaining bolt, and gently pull the sensor out. You'll often see a thin film of oil on the tip. Use electronic contact cleaner or MAF cleaner, never brake cleaner, and wipe it gently with a microfiber cloth without scratching the magnetic surface. Let it dry completely before reinstalling and make sure the O-ring is still in good shape. Once clean, the sensor sends accurate data again, restoring smoothness, throttle response, and even fuel efficiency. Technical testing published by NGK shows that a thin oil film can create timing errors of up to 2 degrees, which is more than enough to noticeably affect performance and MPG. 10 minutes of cleaning can bring back that smooth operation you thought was gone forever. Sensor number 4, the MAP sensor, or manifold absolute pressure sensor. If your engine feels sluggish, struggles on hills, or hesitates when you step on the gas, the MAP sensor might be feeding bad information to the ECU. While a MAF sensor measures how much air enters the engine, the MAP sensor measures pressure inside the intake manifold, essentially how hard the engine is working at any given moment. The ECU uses this data to calculate engine load, ignition timing, and, on turbocharged vehicles, boost control. Over time, oil vapors, carbon residue, and microscopic dust clog the tiny port in the sensor. That contamination slows its response or skews the readings. The symptoms show up as poor throttle response, higher fuel consumption, and hesitation at low RPM. Cleaning it is simple but must be done correctly. Locate the sensor, usually mounted on or near the intake manifold with 1 or 2 bolts. Disconnect the wiring and remove it carefully. Never insert wires, needles, or any objects into the port. That's the fastest way to destroy a MAP sensor. Instead, spray MAF cleaner or contact cleaner in short bursts directly into the opening and let the excess drain out. Allow it to dry completely before reinstalling. After cleaning, the ECU once again receives accurate load data, improving acceleration, idle quality, and even shift behavior in automatic transmissions. Technicians who include this cleaning in preventive maintenance often report up to a 10% improvement in throttle response on higher mileage vehicles. Before blaming fuel pumps or injectors, always start here. Sensor number 3, the oxygen sensors, commonly called O2 sensors. If your car started burning more fuel, smells strong at the tailpipe, or feels lazy off the line, the oxygen sensors could be the reason. These sensors operate in one of the harshest environments in the vehicle, directly in the exhaust stream, and their job is to keep the air-fuel mixture near the ideal 14.7:1 ratio. Over time, carbon deposits, oil residue, and unburned fuel coat the sensor tip, slowing its reaction time. The ECU then adjusts fuel delivery based on delayed information, which leads to poor MPG, unstable idle, and excessive soot in the exhaust. What many people don't realize is that in certain cases, careful cleaning can temporarily restore an aging sensor. To do this, remove the sensor with the exhaust completely cool, using the proper socket and without twisting the wiring. Submerge only the sensing tip, never the body, in gasoline or a catalytic converter cleaner for about an hour to dissolve carbon buildup. Then rinse it with carb cleaner and let it air dry naturally. Do not use compressed air and do not touch the tip. The internal element is extremely delicate. Once reinstalled, the ECU often receives faster, more accurate readings again. Independent automotive testing has shown that roughly 70% of older O2 sensors regain acceptable response after cleaning, improving fuel economy and emissions without immediate replacement. If your scan tool shows slow response codes like P0133 or P0153, cleaning before replacing the sensor can easily save you hundreds of dollars. That's not a hack, it's maintenance almost no one talks about. Sensor number 2, the crankshaft position sensor, better known as the CKP sensor. This is, quite literally, the most critical sensor in the entire engine. Without a clean and reliable signal from it, the engine simply cannot run. What most people don't realize is that a CKP sensor can be good enough to keep the engine running while simultaneously generating a cascade of false faults that make the car look mechanically doomed. The CKP works through magnetic induction, reading the teeth of a reluctor wheel mounted on the crankshaft. Each tooth generates an electrical pulse that tells the ECU exactly how fast the engine is spinning and the precise position of every piston in real time. The problems that trigger terrifying trouble codes usually come from two very common causes in the US market. The first is the buildup of microscopic metal shavings, brake dust, and iron particles that are magnetically attracted to the tip of the sensor. Over time, this debris forms a layer that increases the gap between the sensor and the reluctor wheel, weakening the signal. The second cause is mechanical clearance. Constant vibration can slightly loosen the sensor mounting bolt, or the reluctor wheel itself can develop play if its mounting is compromised. That extra movement further increases the critical distance between the sensor and the wheel. The result is a weak, irregular signal. The fault codes caused by this are some of the scariest you'll ever see: crankshaft sensor circuit failures suggesting a dead sensor, random misfire codes across all cylinders at once, and crank-to-cam correlation errors that point toward a jumped timing chain or belt, even though the mechanical timing is actually perfect. In more severe cases, the engine may start and stall immediately or idle so erratically it feels like it's about to die. Proper diagnosis involves using an oscilloscope to analyze the waveform, which should be clean, consistent, and of strong amplitude. It's also critical to verify the air gap between the sensor and the reluctor wheel, which typically ranges from about 0.020 to 0.060 inches depending on the engine design. When the sensor is removed, it's very common to find the tip completely coated in metallic debris. Cleaning it with the correct solvent and a soft brush, followed by proper reinstallation and torque, often eliminates issues that look like catastrophic engine failure. Sensor number 1, the engine coolant temperature sensor, known as the ECT sensor. This sensor tells the ECU whether the engine is cold, at normal operating temperature, or overheating. It's a core input used to adjust fuel mixture, ignition timing, cooling fan operation, and even engine protection strategies. When this sensor starts failing intermittently, whether due to internal microcracks, poor electrical contact, or erratic resistance changes in the thermistor, it creates some of the most misleading fault codes imaginable. You'll see codes for a thermostat stuck open when the cooling system is perfectly fine, multiple misfire codes caused by incorrect fueling, and even high voltage or short-to-ground codes that don't reflect the real problem. What makes this sensor so dangerous diagnostically is that the failure is often not constant. The sensor may work perfectly on a cold start, showing temperature rising smoothly, then suddenly jump to unrealistic readings like 250 degrees Fahrenheit when the engine hasn't even reached full warm-up. Proper diagnosis requires live data on a scan tool. The coolant temperature should rise smoothly and progressively from ambient temperature to around 190 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Any sudden spike or drop instantly points to a faulty sensor or wiring issue. Countless engines have had parts replaced unnecessarily in the US because of a simple coolant temperature sensor with unstable readings. This tiny component, often overlooked, can make a perfectly healthy engine look like a complete disaster on a scan report.